those we are sworn to serve. So it seems to me that we have to understand that there is a direct correlation between the benefits that often are on the negotiating table to citizens, not just to those who serve, but to citizens in terms of having greater life-saving capabilities. For me, as a mayor, that was often what I heard the negotiations be about. And I thought it was exemplary that we were negotiating over how do we better save lives at the end of the day. And I think that any time that we can have the reality that more lives are saved because, in fact, the collective bargaining system allows to create a circumstances under which not only the workplace and the profession, but the lives of the citizens of those communities are saved, is something worthy of achieving.
Would the Senator yield for
I'd be happy to yield.
I always appreciate hearing from the Senator from New Jersey, but I would hope our colleagues would listen carefully to what the Senator from New Jersey has said, because he comes to this debate and discussion as a former mayor. And mayors, as we all know, have had the special relationships, obviously, with fire and also with the police. They're right on the firing line. And so when I hear the Senator from New Jersey talk about the value as a former mayor, he can see the value in terms of safety and security to the people in that community as a result of this legislation in terms of cooperative kind of a discussion and arrangement. That says a good deal, because we have had some that have presented a situation which of course is not accurate, where this is going to be imposing extraordinary hardships, additional kinds of burdens and unfunded mandates on mayors, particularly in smaller communities, and do a great disservice, actually, in terms of the whole relationship between the public safety officers and the security of the community. And so I particularly value his comments on this aspect of the bill. There's obviously a number of other important aspects of it, but as it relates to small towns, I forget the actual population of the size of the community of the city that the good senator was the mayor of. But in any event, if he could just elaborate again on his views about this legislation and its importance to mayors as well as to firefighters, I think it would be very helpful, because he speaks from a very practical experience.
Well, I appreciate the senator from Massachusetts, and we had about 60,000 people in the community at the time. But it was a challenge, 60,000 people in 1.1 square miles, the most densely populated city per square mile in the nation. And so the uniqueness of some of those challenges of having police and firefighters be able to respond was very much, although the population was high, the geography was small. And so we had a much smaller sense of the response times and the necessities that were needed. But I've also was part of the mayor's coalition in the state of New Jersey at the time, and that coalition represented urban, suburban, rural mayors, and throughout the state of New Jersey they had obviously the right for collective bargaining. And to be honest with you, I don't recall any of those mayors saying that collective bargaining was the bane of their existence as it related to be able to produce the services. And I think that the reality is that what we do here through this process is that we build strong partnerships between first responders and the cities and the states in which they serve in. When public safety employers and employees work together, it not only reduces worker fatalities, and of course worker fatalities have a consequence. Even in a non-collective bargaining system, there are obviously clearly claims against the municipality, but above all it improves the quality of the services and the delivery of those services at the end of the day. And I believe that in a post-September 11th world, having resided in a state that lost hundreds of people on that fateful day, and in a community that saw several hundred lost on that fateful day, that these are individuals who now play a critical role far beyond what we envisioned originally or what their history has been, which is certainly producing the safety in our communities from the normal challenges of crime, burglaries, thefts, robberies or assaults, or maybe even more minor roles, traffic violations. Now, these first responders across the landscape of the country face a much heightened responsibility. They play a critical role in homeland security. So by enhancing cooperation between these public safety employers and employees, I believe that the legislation helps to ensure that vital public services run as smoothly as possible. You know, it's interesting. Every New York City firefighter, EMT, police officer responded to the disaster at the World Trade Center on September 11th was a union member under collective bargaining agreement, and I believe that their ability to have been integrated in their negotiations with the cities about all aspects of the delivery of their services gave some of the most incredible responses on that fateful day. There isn't a reason why we cannot see that take place across the country in terms of readiness. So I believe that if we look at the bill, that it only requires local governments to engage in negotiations if workers choose to join a union, that is a rather low threshold. And again, states that don't have these protections can choose to establish their own collective bargaining systems. So, Mr. President, I hope we realize what is at stake here. The safety is incredibly at stake. 29 states, along with the District of Columbia, currently guarantee all public safety workers the fundamental right of collective bargaining. Now, with the House of Representatives overwhelmingly approving companion legislation almost a year ago, it's hard to believe that the Senate will not act. In fact, it is time for the Senate to act and to respond. With 80,000 firefighters and 76,000 police officers being injured in the line of duty each year, the time has come to ensure that these workers are protected. It's time to put our votes where our values are. It's interesting to me how very often those of us who serve in this body and the other body, we want to be there with police and firefighters. We want to take our picture with them, acknowledge them. We appreciate their services. We talk about their heroism. But the time for all of that talk to be meaningful is when you come to the United States Senate and you cast a vote to simply have a right that is so fundamentally basic that we have believed it to be truly an American right. And so all those pictures, all of those speeches, it's time to put that vote here to work. It's time to put our votes where our values are. It's time to uphold the rights of those who provide for our safety. It is time we show how much we appreciate the dedication and bravery of our nation's heroes who take this risk every day. So I urge, and I'd be happy to yield.